So today the zombie is of course going to be me, not going to be anything in the game because I just woke up. But, so when last we left off, we had just tried to take out these fights. I don't think I have the DPS for these fights yet. They have that ability that gives a 3-turn cooldown before you die, basically. It's not actually death, it's just 10,000 damage. But for a party that has less than 10,000 HP, that's death. So I do have a lot of AP to spend, and I could start spending that on leveling. So he's currently dealing... He's currently dealing enough damage that I think it's worthwhile. Or rather, enough of a damage multiplier that I think it's best for me to just invest in attack power directly. At least for now. And as for the other characters, he has... I'll have to think about what I want to do for them. Starting to think that he might need to invest in HP, but I don't actually know. I guess it makes sense, because every point in HP now can be multiplied many times over. So I think I actually will spend a level into HP. And I'm going to definitely do it with him as well. He's pretty squishy. And let's see, as for him, I don't think he needs to. Because he shouldn't be tanking, and he doesn't have the magic defense options that the others have. So we're just going to invest into magic defense for him. Alright, so what else do we need to do? There's some puzzle guy that I'll want to find eventually. I think the puzzle guy is in here. Oh, it is the puzzle guy. There we go. So we got Phoenix Ashes, Ambrosia. So, it looks like the puzzles in this game aren't going to be worth the same amount that they were in the previous game. In the previous game, the puzzles gave you all sorts of really cool and interesting items. In this one, it looks like it's pretty much just consumables. So, let's see here. We've got the clotting ring on. I think it's time to get ourselves moving. I do have the repel ring on, right? Yes, I do. Okay, so our goal now is to just find all of the places that we couldn't go before and head over to them. So one of these quartets is here, and there's another somewhere else. So this should give me an idea. Okay, there's something to do there. So there's a circle of power there that doesn't appear to have a purpose just yet. I presume that I'll be using those later. Okay, there's an island here with a cave. So, this seems like a perfect time to go spelunking. Why are you here? You here to kill Gabi? No. Gabi no want to die. You here for precious oil like you don't have mine. You never catch this copy. You are correct, sir. I will not catch you. So that's a engineering area. And that requires the airship to get to. So when I... think. Yeah. So this requires the airship to get through, unless the... And I don't think that's the case. So, since that requires the airship to get to, that does tell us some interesting facts about that. And here's a question. Do we want... to just head straight to this pagoda and finish it? Because I feel like he might be able to finish this pagoda now. So the Valor Ring... So usually these HP effects stack with themselves, but they don't if you get the same... two of the same ring. Yeah, one thing that I do need to consider is, do I want to make myself no longer need the 200 accuracy from that buff in order to handle bosses and stuff? Okay, so... how much of a damage buff have I gotten? We have Virgil's gauntlets now. So he'll take half damage from all elemental stuff now, which means he's going to take half damage from the darkness spell. I'm gonna see what happens in here. So the party has been inflicted with desecration. That did go off. I think that it would be very, very valuable for me to be able to finish this place. I almost made it through the entire place without running into a single fight. Okay. So we're going to save this under slot 2. And we are going to figure out so the first Desecrator is down. The Desecrator fights aren't too bad. We do need to regenerate. So we have the second fight here now. He's going to have 400 HP regen per turn. I guess we'll see how it goes. So, one thing that I'm thinking here I'd forgotten that I had that extra attack to play with. So it takes how many attacks to get through? So 2... Is it 3 or 4? It's definitely going to be 4 if I miss. Okay, so it takes about 4 hits to get through. Am I better off attacking? I think I actually might even be better off attacking the boss rather than its allies. Because they don't really do... Now that I have enough damage, I think that they don't do enough... enough damage relative to how much it hits for to justify attacking them instead of it. So I've got enough defense. So I'm going to give him a protector ring. I'm going to give him a protector ring as well. Yeah, if I were to use macros, this would actually be really, really easy because I'd be able to have the damage taken by the whole party. But I'm not willing to do that. So let's see. Use a Knuckle Breaker. So he's back up, but I think what we're going to have to do, and I think this is what we're going to do, I need to slap Sordrell in the front row. Because he needs to be the one tanking. That's not what I want. Let's see. Rows there. So we're going to slap him in the front row. We're going to leave him in the front row, and we're actually going to move him to the mid row. So with this setup, the hope is that he goes after Komanaton and Sordrell with exclusivity. I'm going to use Mirage on turn 1. So Black Spear comes out on Komanaton. Obliterate comes out. And I miss with all my attacks. So this would be this would be substantially easier. I don't know about very, very easy, but this would be definitely easier if I could regen on Oberon back up to full or close to it, and ditto for Veron. So, can I actually do it? Do I regenerate faster than these enemies hit me if I get into a little fight? I think that if he's in the front row, I'm not sure if I can justify the Mirage, actually. Alright, so he's going to continue to sit in the front row. I am in the front row now, I think. And he's going to use... I'm going to use an attack on this one. Unfortunately, the execution comes out on Veron. Unfortunately, I keep missing. And that, to me, implies that I need to swap on accuracy gear. The problem is that with accuracy gear, I don't have enough HP to play with. Still give me 2... I don't think there's any HP gear that also increases accuracy. So I can equip this. We can save. I'll only have 4.3k HP. Why is Veron getting hit so much by this asshole? That's what I want to know. Why am I missing so much? Oh my god. Even with dual accuracy rings, this thing is just so... and I know why. It's because it has an obscene amount of agility, specifically because it's going to be attacked by monks. But still. So yeah, he is in the back row. So we're going to kill the Corpulent Monstrosities. And for some reason that thing is single targeting Varan every goddamn time, even though he's in the back row. I am going to get into some fights. Okay, so Commoditon is not regenerating because I'm an idiot. I need to give him something to regen with. And I guess it doesn't make a huge difference. Okay. So we can now swap him back into the front row. Just have everybody in the front row. Everybody has an equal chance of getting smacked. And we need to give Commoditon something that's going to allow him to regen. He's going to get hit by AoEs and stuff, so I'll just put him in the back row. So Barrage comes out as an insta-give. I guess I need him in the back row now that I think about it. Because he's going to be one-shottable by just about anything this guy does. He won't get one-shot by the spell. But that's small comfort. Damn it. Okay. Now that Varan is in the front row, they aren't attacking him. Okay, so if I get him with... my damage debuff. So one thing about these guys actually is that they do have the capacity to use some particularly inoffensive attacks. And I just missed the Knuckle Breakers. I'm pretty sure I'm fucked. Because they have the ability to use Preserve and Mind Flay, neither of which actually does anything. So I should probably be focusing just the boss. Because, yeah, on this difficulty setting, taking these down is... I don't have the ability to buff my stats, which means that I don't really have the ability to get a decent amount of defense. Getting these down pretty much just comes down to overall stat totals. So we're going to try and do a Knuckle Breaker on you. So I have one more turn, and unfortunately, it's very hard to say whether it's worth it to kill them or not, because I'm wondering basically about win conditions and whether killing them is a viable pathway to victory. I think it does about the same amount of damage to do that or to do the knuckle thing, so... Because the other thing that I could do as well is I could leave and rest and come back. I think I'm just going to do that. Assuming I even can do that. I need to get a third one of those swords. There's a lot of damage coming into Sword Drill on these. Oh good, so that used Vile Insight, which means I get a free turn to regen some life off of it. So we'll see if our regen is enough to get us through this. I don't have my repel ring on, do I? explains a lot. Alright, so I should be able to get out of here now without running into any more fights. Maybe not. I just fucked myself over. Also don't remember the way out, but... I remember the way in, but not the way out. And that doesn't sound like it makes any sense because it's the same path both ways. But it feels very different going in versus going out. The kinds of decisions that you're making are different decisions. The party's been cured of desecration. Okay, that's interesting. So the last time I went in there, the party was not cured of desecration when I went in. I don't even need to rest. Last time I went in there, I got all the way out without curing my party of desecration, and I'm not sure how that happened. So I think that with full resources, or as close to it as I can get, that I should be able to get through this. So we should run into one more fight. I don't think we're going to get out of here completely unscathed. And this is unfortunately a fight full of these monstrosities. So, here's my new slot 2 save. Can we finagle a win out here? Hard to say. Hard to say, but I'm hoping so. And honestly, I do think that I need to go after the boss first, because these things do not... they don't really do enough damage to, like, a single target to really be the determining factor in the victory, I think. They have the ability to do other stuff, but more importantly, even when they do really bad stuff for me, it's spread over the entire party in a consistent way. Whereas with the boss is going over and one-shotting people. And there's three different people that he can use execution on that just ends the fight instantly. So I definitely need, when I'm dealing with this fight, to get the boss dead ASAP. And then work on his friends. The problem is that he keeps going after Veron, and I'm not sure why. I'm gonna take a look at my rows might be messed up right now, actually. I don't think so, but they might be. That's why he keeps going after Veron. Okay, so we need him to go after Komanatin. And it's actually preferred for them to ignore everybody who isn't Oberon, so let's try to get the 50% chance to attack the guy who can actually take a hit. Siphon comes out. And he's actually going to take a shit ton of damage from the Black Spears. Wondering whether I want to swap this. Swapping that. Basically, the key with increasing my accuracy is that I think that second thing of accuracy increases my attacks by 2. So I'd say that those, if I'm going to have any of those rings, I should have both of them. I am actually thinking about killing these monstrosities first. Okay, so, oh shit, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to use the Thinger Breaker. Okay, knuckling. Unfortunately, he did go after Oberon every round. If he had gone after someone that round that he wouldn't kill, I would have won. He has a 50-50 chance of targeting Oberon there. Let's see. So Black Spear comes out on Sordrel, which would be good, except the guy AoE'd. An attack on Sordrel early on, if it doesn't get followed up by another attack later, allows me to regen the HP back and basically negate the attack. Particularly because of the fact that currently, with my existing max HP, he can one-shot me from full HP. So if he attacks me and doesn't kill me at full HP, then that's a particularly potent way to start a fight, because he has one-shot potential anyway. It doesn't really change the... It doesn't change the math very much for how likely I am to die on a given turn. So unfortunately, Black Spear did come out. Probability of that is 50 with 3. Not high, but... So Black Spear comes out on Oberon, which is just about the worst thing I could start with. But luckily, we're down to single target attacks. We're not going to use Knuckle Breaker, because while it does decrease his damage, it actually adds a huge amount of variance to the amount of damage that I do that I don't want to see. So... Dun, dun, dun. We're definitely going after these things because that's unfortunate. Do I want... I think I'm going to have to try it. I don't think that the fact that he's one-shottable is really acceptable. So I need to... If I hadn't missed all those attacks, I might have survived. I think I missed 3 attacks there. But, I mean, that's what happens when you unequip your accuracy shit. Actually, it's what happens regardless of whether you unequip your accuracy shit, because I had all my accuracy shit on and still went down like a ton of bricks. Black Spear's coming out. It's on Oberon. And we have to restart. But yeah, one of the problems with monks is that they don't really have... They're a glass cannon, right? They don't have anything that they can play with, if you will. This boss fight is entirely, do you kill the boss before the boss kills you? There's no... There's no meaningful degree of... I don't have the element ring on. I should probably put on either the element ring or the dark ring. That helps me. Because that means the Black Spear does half damage on him. And then he gets hit for 10k with an execution. Barrage comes out and misses. Barrage comes out and hits. Well, if not for that 10k execute, we would have won there. I don't think that he had anything else that he could have done that would have killed Oberon there. So yeah, taking the Black Spear out of the equation is definitely good. It's a crit. If it wasn't a crit, we would have survived and could have continued, but dem crits. And then a little weak hit on Veron. Unfortunately, it's a weak hit that puts Veron in instigate range. Double execution comes out. Ugh. Adding just one extra turn to the fight and one extra attack to the fight, you can see has made a big difference in the overall fight difficulty. It's funny because I think on normal difficulty, there's probably a decent chance that you can just blow through this fight without really taking any damage. Damn it. If it had attacked Oberon, I would have won. If it attacked... what's his name? I also would have won. Oberon was still fine. Strangling Group comes out on Surdrall. The other thing that I could do, if I want to play the RNG game, the problem is that eating yet another turn at the start and putting myself behind in that regard doesn't feel like playing RNG in my favor. So I could put him in the front row and then use the agility buff on turn 1. But that doesn't seem terribly useful. How much does 1-inch punch cost? Costs 100. So I lose a decent bit of attack power here, but here's the question. If I do swap this over to this, and then give myself the Ascendant Ring, or sorry, not the Transcendent Ring, do I have Insta-Gib potential? I didn't equip it. Okay, boss is down. Okay, that's fine. I don't have the ability that I need to have on my bar, so we're going to put it on my bar. I have a suspicion that... I mean, it should insta-gib. Because if I did 2.5 times as much damage as I did with that ability, that would be instant death for this guy. So we're going to take off this. We're going to put 1-inch punch in there. And this is going to be really amusing, but I think I should be able to one-shot the boss with this. Falcon! Oh, fuck. Oh wow, I failed to kill this guy because I have no accuracy. Okay. So, if I do this strat, it's entirely based around the first turn just nuking down the boss and killing it at the very latest on turn 2. If I can kill it on turn 1, then this is a reasonably consistent way to win. If I can't kill it on turn 1 and I have to wait until turn 2... Oh my god. There we go. That's it. That's how to do it. You just don't let the boss get a turn. Oh, that works. Okay, so we can save the game. Goblin pagan scriptures, and we can now leave. Strangely enough, even though I killed both the desecrators, I still have, do I have a repel ring on? I suspect that I do not. I'm gonna go ahead and equip that. I do not. Okay. Okay, so now we've got these scriptures, and we can just go on back. So I'm very curious to see what my monk gets as a reward for all this. So we should have one more, maybe two more fights, depending on how soon I get into it. Because I am going to be fucking up my movement a bit. But while I am fucking up my movement a bit, you know, that's not good. While I'm fucking up my movement a bit, I'm getting pretty far in here, so I don't think there's room for me to have too many problems. What's the wrong side? No, I'm an idiot. Well, I just wasted a fuck ton of time. Okay, it's fine. We got out. Party's been cured of desecration. Save the game. And now we can go back to the swamp. So we can go turn this quest in. And I'm not sure if there is going to be another quest. The fact that I just ran into that engineer thing after... in a place that I needed to have a bird to get to does imply that I'll run into bird required quests for the other people, but no guarantees. We're going to save in slot 1 because we're done. Me guess you die in Pagoda, but no, you surprise this one. You bring scripture. You trade scripture for ancient witch doctor secret of reincarnation. The secret wave to witch doctor. You don't teach anyone else. So what does that do? Does that allow him to revive when he dies? Okay, so this means that he's now got 2 lives as well. And his version is way better than the version that the other guy has. Oh, I guess I should probably check if he has more stuff. So, now we can go back to any of these towns nearby and take a nap. We have reincarnation on the monk now, which is okay. I mean, it's not terrible. He doesn't tend to be the first person to die, so there is that, but we can now go into this goblin tower. Fear the Reapers. So we're going to go ahead and slap an experience ring on. And we're going to change this out, because he doesn't need this, he needs the other one, so... That'll make up for a portion of the damage that he just lost from unequipping his other ring. So that's the Reaper, presumably. And this is an interesting place, because this doesn't seem to be really a puzzle location. And I don't need, now that I think about it, I don't need the repel ring on. So we can put on something else. He seems to benefit a lot from the Master Ring. So we've got Silver Werewolves here. I definitely recall these from somewhere. So here's the Grizzly Reaper. This is an enemy that we have fought before. And I think that we should be okay, except I did not... Vron doesn't have the right thing on. I don't remember where these are vulnerable to. Attack, I guess. Can use Invincible. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna use Mute Shield. I'm pretty sure he's immune to instant death. So 10k damage in 3 turns is not good. So our goal now is, I don't think we're going to be able to kill the boss by then. But maybe we can. So my primary goal is to try and get... Oh, actually, Cosmic Pressure might work. We're going to have to hope that Cosmic Pressure works for me. He is immune to Cosmic Pressure, so... I think you're boned, Oberon. I think you're boned. So that happened. Shit, the Black Spear really just blew me the hell up. And it wasn't even enough to kill that round, so... So yeah, these Reapers are definitely trouble. Do I have instant death immunity on everybody? He does not. Also, he needs to equip the Sapping Sword. So the other enemies down here aren't really too dangerous. I wonder what that does. So there's sapphire equipment here. Oops. Oh, he needs to equip the mercenary thing. The mercenary azure hat. Oh, that's not good. Armored axe. Doesn't sound amazing to me. So the north wind blows. Rains or west, maybe? North. That doesn't sound like wind. Okay. So, that's basically just like a little pathway. We just completed that puzzle. We can save the game. Let's see, what is my... So does this place have like a million thingamabobers? Here's my collections. So Ugbar. So we have 100 items to collect here, and I guess we better get started. So that's the Reaper. There's another Reaper here. Oh shit. Well, I'm fighting the Reaper again. use the Bloodlust. No, I'm not. Use a normal attack. Use Mystical Concealment. I'm gonna use Flight of Attack. Hamstring. So the hamstring's gonna reduce his int, which is good, because the last time I got myself boned. So now we're gonna cast Bloodlust. We are gonna cast Juggernaut. We're gonna Warcry. He doesn't really attack very much. He spends a lot of time using instant death effects and things like that. So we're still missing Destroy Armor, but so I have 3 more turns on the Evil Eye. There's no way on earth I'm going to kill this thing before that effect gets applied. I'm going to try to use a Meat Shield. And my goal now is to try and get him above 10k. And Cure 3s are going to be a difficult way to do it. Can you use a Warcry? I think this is gonna die here, actually. Yes! Got it. Got you, babe. Okay, so we got that thing down. I don't know what that effect does. Okay, so we got 2 down there. A dissipating whip. I wonder what that does. I very much wonder what that does. So it looks like every floor that I go through, I run into 1 extra enemy. Whew. That was close. That is a lot of items over there. Holy devastation bomb. Oh shit, that's bad. Well, failed to get the kill. Okay, so we got the Great SP Orb, Vanishing Cloak. Okay, so we have completed this spiral on the left. So now we just need to go to the right. Luckily, this floor is very straightforward, at least so far. Oh shit, well. Okay, first turn we attack. Second turn. Do this. now it begins. I'm actually going to use an invisibility cloak on him. I think that reduces defense, so... So 3 more turns before Evil Eye triggers. I think I'm just gonna see what I can do here. Done. Okay. So this should be a reasonably high level area. The 14th arena was here. Was basically fighting the enemies from in here. Unfortunately, I haven't seen anything terribly interesting so far. Okay, so that Reaper is guarding a treasure trove. This is the way out. I'm actually surprised at how little damage Swordrell is taking. so... Hey, God Mode. I'm gonna try to get through that Reaper. But I'm also gonna go over here. This is just a dead end that doesn't do anything for me. Not my kind of dead end. So it looks like it's possible that every floor has one... one or two treasure caches. And then the door to the next area. There we go. So we got away from that guy. Okay, so this guy is a problem. He's definitely going to grab me. I do not have my debuff chain in place. Actually, he's going to use... He's going to use a meat shield. Indeed, that is how you do it. Okay, so... Get plan of attack, get a war cry. Problem is that he doesn't have the mana to cast a certain spell. No Hope comes out on Oberon. Just recast this. No, I'm not. I guess I'll heal. He's definitely hitting pretty hard. But it's not just him. I mean, it's a team effort to get him that overpowered. It takes, you know, a half dozen buffs and debuffs to get to the 10k plus range. And it turns out that he's not immune to instant death, so that's good to know. There's a human shield, my friend. I'm gonna have to give him... Oh, good. So Evil Eye doesn't really do anything if the boss has this little HP left. Except to ensure that I recast my jug just to make sure that it stays on. And we're not actually done stacking buffs either. We have at least one more full party buff that we're going to be casting once Komanaton reaches level 150, that's going to be another 10% attack power. So that'll be nice. It might also be 10% crit, but I don't know. I think it might be 10% accuracy, too. That might actually be a really, really good ability. But what's going to be very, very scary is Sordrell has been able to get away with not really investing into anything other than offense. And I'm really surprised. I would have expected that enemies like this is a pretty late game enemy, and I haven't invested at all in magic defense on Sordrell. And for whatever reason, all of the enemies that I've been facing have been using very, very weak spells. So magic defense is not nearly as potent in this one as it was in the previous one, just because all the enemies are using weak-ass spells. Like this Hurricane spell, that must have a base damage that's, like, under 200. Well, I started out 50 levels above you. So, you have to remember that. So, I'm actually curious, because you started on a lower difficulty than I did. I get access to my final skill at level 150. Is level 150 the level that you gain access to your ultimate skill? Or is it a different level when you are... Or is it based off of your starting level, basically? Because I literally do not have access to my final skills yet on half my party. And by half my party, I mean literally everybody except for Sordrell. I'm going to go ahead and use Silencing Strike. So you still don't have access to your highest tier skill either? Because I was really surprised that, like, it's a game that starts at level 50, and then I'm looking and it's like, I need 150 in order to get the final skill? That seems excessive. So, like, I figured that that was scaled. That would make it... That would make monks really, really weak on normal mode, honestly. I mean, they do have the insta-get potential, so I guess there is that. But they really don't get access to any of their cool shit until super late in this one. And stuff like Nirvana got nerfed so hard that that's not useful. So they go back to just being a, well, I'll hit you when I hit you, and when I hit you, you're probably dead, but until then, we'll be waiting for a while. So we're going to use the plan of attack. Use a human shield. Do I even want to bother fighting this thing? Yeah, because like the basic functionality for Monk that you got around level, I don't know, maybe 30 in the previous game, you don't get until like a level 120 or something in this one. I think it was 125 to get like back access to the full functionality that you had by the mid-game of the previous one. So that's pretty rough. But I do find it interesting that there are so many games now that have actually changed the word. They've changed their difficulty settings to make it seem like you're doing something harder than you are. Because, like, almost every game now uses hard to mean normal mode. Because, like, on the hard difficulty setting, everything has 100% of its stats. And that's the way that it's mathematically shown and talked about by the developers. It's like, everything is normal at this difficulty. It's like, then why are you calling it hard if everything's at normal difficulty? That seems strange to me. Like, the word normal has ceased to mean what you would expect it to mean. And I find that very odd. This has been a trend that's been going on for... Oh, I don't even know. Probably at least 15 years since people started doing this. I'm trying to remember. I think it might have been one of the Devil May Cries that actually started the trend. But I don't think so. I think it was probably something else. I'm not judging. I just find it interesting because, like, when I say normal, I'm talking about, like, the default stats of the enemies. I'm just thinking about it in terms of stats. But, like, the normal difficulty setting isn't the normal setting, right? It's... So, there's linguistic confusion when I talk about it. I don't think that everyone should be playing on Legendary. I don't think that that's, like, an appropriate type of gameplay for most people. Especially since, like, in the beginning of both of these games, there's so much grinding just to get up to the point where you can actually get into the game, because you don't get access to the tools. I mean, that's not fun and compelling gameplay. The beginning of this expansion and the beginning of the first game, neither of those are particularly compelling. It's not until you get to the super bosses that you get to compelling gameplay. And do you really want to play a 40-hour game or 50-hour game? Do you want to turn a 20-hour game into a 50-hour game? Just for, like, 20 minutes worth of cool fights at the end. And for me, the answer is yes, but that's not something that I would expect everyone to want to do. Yeah, until I started doing games that actually had difficulty settings on live stream, I never really did the higher difficulties. I don't think I bothered with higher difficulties for the most part, because the way that I play games, I swap around to so many different types of games that I never really get good enough at a game to have a smooth experience on the harder difficulties. But when you do live streaming, you have to get your niche, and my niche has ended up being making myself die horribly over and over again. And it all spawned... The whole concept of Arkmode pretty much spawned from the fact that I... Ooh, repairing bow. What do you do? Okay, we're fine. No problem. No problem. So... Oops. Yep. I think that this thing can probably use instant death attack, so... I want to kill it first. Yeah, well, it used to be that normal difficulty was not supposed to be a cakewalk. Like, if you were on normal difficulty, it was the expected difficulty setting of the game, and so it was not easy. You know what I mean? Easy is called easy. And nowadays, I think it's because of this sort of like, what's the word? It's sort of this self-fulfilling prophecy, to an extent, where people started calling the normal difficulty setting hard. And so they started calling the normal difficulty setting easy, right? Kind of like how a medium is often the smallest size in like a fast food restaurant. The smallest size is often called medium. In some places. Anyway, so in a similar vein, games started doing that with difficulty. And the problem is that if you start calling the easy difficulty normal, then people are going to start associating the term normal with easy. I don't want to fight this guy. They're going to start associating the term normal with easy, which is not the way that it used to be. Because if you remember back, you know, I actually don't know how old you are, Arkmode. But for me, back when I was a kid, they didn't have difficulty settings in most of the games that I would play. And if you were playing the game at all, it was murdering you and you were dying horribly. And that was the expectation. Right? It's definitely, I mean, it's hard to say, because I'm a millennial. I'm only 30. The millennials are anyone who's under the age of something like 36 or something at this point, which is something that most of the people who are complaining about millennials are millennials, and I find that incredibly funny. But anyway, let's see. What's the word? But no, it was a process that started a long time ago, and I think it started during my generation. I think my generation is ultimately responsible for it. That basically they wanted to have the bragging rights of having done something hard, but they didn't want to actually do something hard. Right? So because of that, they had a tendency to, like, basically play on higher difficulty settings and then complain about the difficulty setting. Like, oh, this game's too hard. Oh, well, what difficulty setting are you playing on? Hard. Oh, well, maybe you shouldn't play on hard if you think it's hard. Right? Like, that kind of basic stuff. And so anyway, so I think that it's not that the games got easier, but that they just changed their well, games have gotten less punishing, because a lot of the deaths that you would get in the older games were deaths that they were doing specifically to suck up your quarters. So a lot of them were actually like legitimate bullshit. But because even after like people stopped playing in arcades as much, the quarter sucking game trends actually were maintained into the consoles, which is kind of a weird thing when you think about it, but it has to do with like the culture of the... Anyway, basic gist is, it used to be the games were hard generally, and they didn't really have difficulty settings. You couldn't just put it on easy. And then eventually they introduced all these difficulty settings. And then eventually those difficulty settings began to mean something other than they had originally meant. They started to lose their actual meaning. And so as they lost their meaning, it sort of accelerated the rate at which the change happened. So it used to be relatively rare that game companies would call normal difficulty hard. That was a rare thing that people did not usually do. But eventually they made the transition on everybody because a couple of mainstream games do it, and it creates a stigma of, oh, well, I can't play on normal difficulty because normal difficulty is too easy for me, and I'm an experienced gamer. And it's like, well, no. Normal difficulty is supposed to be, if you know what you're doing, this will be an appropriate difficulty for you. Anyway, so they still have that. It's just they call it hard now. I just wish that they had maintained it, because it's normal for games to be hard, right? It's normal for you to run into parts where you're just like, this is super hard. I'm not, having an easy time with this. And that used to be the expectation for the difficulty at a hard difficulty setting. And I'm all for, I love that they've put in like story mode and other like ludicrously super easy difficulties where the gameplay exists, but the gameplay is not it's not a wall between you and content. The gameplay is something that you play and don't worry about. I love that they've started doing that in games, actually. It makes me very happy because I know a lot of people who, we work for a living and don't have the time to do this kind of bullshit that I'm subjecting myself to. And they play games for the plot, and they play games for a host of reasons that aren't, I want to fail. Because for me, I want to fail. But a lot of people, they don't play games to fail because it's not... They don't have the time in the day to waste on learning a fight. So... Which is unfortunate, but it's not... I would prefer that everybody had time in the day to fail. No, I don't subscribe to that at all. I think that everybody should be able to play things the way that they want to play them. Like, it's frustrating when you have a game that's really good, but you can't, like, it has a very, very powerful and compelling plot, but the mechanics are too, like, gamer to really get someone into them that isn't already a gamer. I'm always really amazed when I see there's certain game archetypes that I don't think of as being like particularly like hard to play, and then you see a new player, it's like someone who does not play anything in that genre, try them, and it's like, holy shit, playing this game is like black magic. This is not normal it's just not normal, the way that you have to interact with this game environment. I had a few friends play Dota who have never played strategy games in the past, right? They've never played like Warcraft 3 or Age of Empires or any of that kind of stuff. So no history at all behind them. And playing a game like Dota is like, what even is this with the left clicks and the right clicks and the because left clicking to select and right clicking to act is actually not normal. That's not a thing that exists outside of that specific genre. So it's like you end up with these really bizarre experiences where you're like, wow, you know, never really occurred to me before, but this is a really weird way to play a video game. So what's that say? We need to cure him. Cure. Am I attacking? Cure. No! Keep curing! This is so funny. The bleeds, and then like the HP bar just going boom, 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 boom every single turn. I love it. Oh shit! Let's get them heals out, and let's get out the mock sacrifice. Wah! Gotta fuel the party. Okay, let's get a war cry out. We're gonna get out another war cry, and we're gonna get out the Soundslick Strike. Oh no, it's not good at all. So he's confused. Gonna go ahead and loosen these guys. And purify. Okay. The rest of it will have to be cured eventually. So, how far are we? We're on floor 6. I have no idea how far this is going to go up. I keep missing because I'm talented like that, and oh shit. That's not good. Luckily the AoEs cleared Oberon and Veron, so... So we still have 460 mana left. And that's... I don't really want to fight these guys because they take so long to kill. They're not super hard, they just take a long time to kill. I guess if they started using the Evil Eye move early, then they would be pretty much impossible for me to kill. That is a lot of items. And I think I actually do have to kill this guy. So how much completion do we have for this place now? We need 44 more items from this place. So we're not exactly close. I'm gonna try to aggro this guy and draw him away. He seems confused. So, oh, I can start putting points into his stats again. Okay. My goal for him is I want to get him close to... That's interesting. we're going to cast Mystic Concealment. We are going to cast Warcry. We are going to cast Hamstring. So No Hope comes out at the beginning on Sordrell, which is perfect because I don't need to even worry about that. He's now going to... You know what? We're going to have him use Bloodlust anyway. Then we're going to use... Plan of Attack. We just used Warcry, so let's use Destroy Armor. And Evil Eye comes out, which means that he is in deep shit. So what are we going to cast now? I guess we're going to cast... Juggernaut. He's going to cast Meat Shield. He's going to cast Invisibility Cloak. So Evil Eye is coming out on 2 characters. I'm pretty sure that I'm boned. So... Because I'm pretty sure the Evil Eye is going to kill Commandant. I don't think Guard has the damage from that. It does not. So there's no way for me to get Commandant to have enough HP to survive an Evil Eye. So we're... Let's see. Yeah, this guy's confused, so I'm just gonna say hello to him again. We're gonna have to kill him. So we need Plan of Attack, Warcry, Hamstring. But yeah, if this guy uses Evil Eye too fast, then I'm just boned. I can't do anything about that. We're going to use the Mystic Concealment. We are going to use a Human Shield and an Invisibility Cloak. Evil Eye comes out on Oberon, but since it is Oberon, he can survive that. Let's see. Bloodlust, we want Juggernaut, we want him to use Meat Shield. And we want hand enemy lines. So Desecrated Strike does 400. So I should be able to get his HP to where it needs to be for this. Where is... Destroy armor, where are you there? So we're going to be using Healing Steels and the biggest cures we've got to try and top him. What the fuck? So Execution has an instant death effect. Okay, so that's good to know. In addition to doing damage, Execution also does an instant give effect. So the nice thing about that is that that is going to cure his thinger. So we didn't actually lose anything there, but we do need to hope that he doesn't get insta-gibbed again. So Warcry has one more turn. So No Hope comes out, Cure 4 comes out. Son of a bitch. Alright, I need to equip him with something to make him immune to instant death. I'm fighting way too many enemies here that use instant death to not have immunity to it. So... I don't know what his previous gear setup was where he did have immunity to it. I don't have this slot even equipped. So I'm actually going to give him this Master Ring. And we're going to give him this. There we go. And we're going to give him... Okay, he's got the Vigil's Boots. That's what he needs. So, now everybody's immune to instant death, like they're supposed to be. And we can now cast Plan of Attack, and we can cast War Cry, and we can cast Hamstring. As the concealment comes out, we can use... what else? Human Shield. Invisibility Cloak. So 10k damage to Oberon soon. We're going to cast Bloodlust Juggernaut. Destroy Armor combo. Okay, there we go. So now we can start doing some serious damage, and we can start casting Cure 4 on him. He can guard, and he can use a Healing Steel. So now his base HP is over 10k as a max, which means that I have the ability to not waste a turn using Meat Shield, but it also means that I can now just get myself up to this value, and then he's safe from Evil Eye from then on. So let's see. I used Mystic Concealment on him, right? Yes. Recasting Human Shield and Hamstring. I'm actually getting a self-preservation. No, I'm not. That's way too expensive to justify. Okay, so 9600 damage comes out. The reason it's only 9600 is because he regenerates 400. So we're getting 16,000 damage crits here. Not too shabby. Okay, Bloodlust is active for 2 more rounds. I think we're safe there. Strangling Shade comes out and does nothing. Cure 3 comes out, and we're just going to auto kill. Boom. So, Kamanatin is set. We get a Sapphire Hat, which is incredibly dull. I knew it was going to be something boring, but it needed to be done. Okay, so we can run down here. This goes down. This goes to fuck. Okay, we're going to reload. I'll fight those guys when I have to. But again, they're just way too time consuming for me to want to fight them regularly. They don't consume resources, really. It's not like I'm making the tower easier. I'm just making the tower faster. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, there's a thing over there. I don't need to kill the specters because they actually can't hurt me anymore. Well, they can't inflict status effects anymore. So we're going to just do a double war cry. And now Kamanaten is just going to regen all that mana. 75 per round is just so good. Okay. Yeah. The Reapers are very much like a little out of control. In terms of their hit points, I think they're a little out of control. I generally prefer if you're going to have like a punishment enemy, like an enemy that's going to be in there that you're not supposed to actually fight. I much prefer them to have substantially more damage and not necessarily that much more HP. Because when you don't increase the like actual danger threshold of the fight much, but you increase the duration of the fight by a lot, then it just slows things down, and I prefer not to have things slowed down. I like things to go fast. But I guess I can kind of understand it. The boss design, or the creature design in this game has to deal with the fact that monks exist. So since monks exist, you have to deal with, frankly, overwhelming amounts of damage. When you're making your creature design, you have to design them with the intention that they can survive through... Like, if it's supposed to be a hard enemy, it's not hard if it's dead. So it has to be able to survive through several rounds with a monk on normal difficulty, which means that then on legendary, you're stacking a million goddamn things on to deal with the problem. Yeah. I think they could probably afford to have his HP. If they have the HP on those Reapers, and... But the problem is that then they'd have to completely redesign the enemy. Because the enemy is fundamentally designed as a, like... It's not a bruiser. It doesn't hit hard. It's a creature that... Its ability set is meant for RNG killing you, or killing you by attrition. So the damage output of the battle is either non-existent or all of your life. So it's about getting to the key thresholds during the fight in terms of like hit points. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're actually killing every round. So like when you get hit with an evil eye, you need to make sure that you can survive it when it lands, right? So getting to those key thresholds is sort of the fight. but he doesn't hit hard with his normal attacks or anything like that. I'm actually just going to save this and continue upstairs because I'm feeling kind of lazy. And I'm not sure that I want to completely get every single item on every single floor. Considering how many Reapers there are per other enemy now, I feel like I'm going to be here a very, very long time if I try to fight every Reaper. Oh, right. So let's take a look. How many things are there in here anyway? So we still have 38 items to obtain in this dungeon. I'm definitely just gonna try and get to the next floor. Not worry about getting every item. This is a dead end. This is a dead end, but has this stuff. I don't actually even know what those things do. They're presumably supposed to do something, but they cause status effects or something. So this floor is like all Reapers. But that guy wasn't a Reaper. Okay. So we reached the next level. We're now on floor, what, 9? Oh, hi, friend. There we go. So we made it to the 10th floor. Okay, so this is whatever it is. So this is just a bunch of dead ends. I assume that this is a boss floor, because otherwise why would it be behaving like this? That looks like a boss floor. Hello! So we reached the boss. Sapphire Staff, Sapphire Robe, Element Ring. So, that gives us an idea that this is probably going to be about as strong as Belial. We're going to go ahead and restore all of my other characters' mana, because it's damn near impossible for him to actually use his mana in fights. Now, we've got the Master Ring, we've got the Protector Ring, Manifestation, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's try it out. Have you come to join the skeletons of your ancestors? Bow down before me. I am Adariel. Pestilence incarnate. Prepare to die. Plan of attack first and then after that. Shield. Hamstring. And that failed hamstring is a problem. So Disease Scythe is an AoE physical attack. Or you can use self-preservation now. He's going to use... what? He's going to use Meat Shield. we missed this, right? So Dark Shroud comes out, single target nuke. So he's going to cure himself. He's not going to cure himself. He's going to use a holy heal. Ground Slam's coming out. Behind enemy lines coming out. So Disease Scythe hits on Sordrell and misses everybody else. And we can now... I'm going to use a Dark Ward. Use Invisibility Cloak. Okay. So his HP values are not that high, actually. He's probably not that much more durable than the... Did I cast Citadel already? I don't think I did. Master Ring. So Disease Scythe comes out, it misses Kamanaton, which is good. Holy Heal. Perfect. So that's a completely wasted turn, pretty much. Now, we haven't cast Juggernaut, but we don't want it. We want Sentinel first. I'm going to use Ground Slam. Hamstring is out. Sordrell is in a good position. We've got Sentinel out. So now we can cast Juggernaut. We need to recast behind enemy lines. We've got Ground Slam on him. I'm going to go ahead and cast Destroy Armor on him. Okay, nothing comes out this turn. We can now go with what? I'm going to cast a Cure for single target. And we are going to do what? Human Shield, because it already wore off. So he has 3 turns of Hamstring left, so we can just keep stealing. So the Master Ring is pretty decent. No Hope comes out. That's bad. So we're going to use a Fast Cure on him, and he's going to guard. And we're going to use Steal. So hopefully with these effects, he'll be healthy enough to survive, and he takes 1 point of damage. Don't even know why I was worried. Citadel is wearing off this turn, so let's recast that. Okay, I'm going to recast Citadel. He's going to recast Warcry. Healing Steel's coming out. So Disease Scythe comes out. Does pretty much nothing. Citadel's being reapplied, as is Warcry. Sentinel needs to be reapplied, so we'll do with that. We need to reapply Human Shield. I missed with Hamstring. Evil Eye is very, very bad. Okay, cast a cure. He's going to do what? Can I don't think I can cleanse it off, right? I don't think I can cleanse it. We're gonna cure. I haven't cast Invincible. I'm not. He's gonna cast Ground Slam. He's going to cast behind enemy lines. Okay, he's now spamming Evil Eye. So the hope here is that I can kill this boss before any of them proc. Because if I can't, I'm boned. But I think we can. He's down. Whew. And that's with the experience ring on. Ha! Nice. So we get a Seer's Cloak, we get a Master Ring, we get an Ancient Robe, we get an Ancient Ring, and another pair of Luminescent Gloves. Did we already have this? Yeah, we did. So the Luminescent Gloves are things that we already had. I'm going to go ahead and swap him over to the Ancient Armor, or sorry, the Ancient Robe. This also recovers 100 MP per turn and has MP costs. Does not give immunity to all stats, stat effects. So maybe we won't equip that. Because the Azure Hat gives us all the stuff we need there. So what's the other thing that I wanted to check out? Okay, we got a Seer's Cloak, which doubles experience gain. I'm going to go ahead and slap that on him. Am I? Yes, because that resistance is good. And I got Luminescent Gloves. And I got 2 Master Rings, which, I mean, they're not amazing, but they exist. They're fine. And so we finished this area. And let's take a look at... I'm going to just go ahead and TP out of here. One nice thing is that anything that I kill, I think, stays dead. If I come back, I don't think I have to re-kill anything. So we're going to go to Grimoire. Does Grimoire have a synth shop? I don't actually know if it does. So we're going to go to Theopolis, because I know that has a synth shop. And that boss wasn't too bad. If he had used Evil Eye earlier, then actually he would have been impossible to kill. But he didn't use it early, he used it really, really late. And so I was able to just pound his face in. He was basically like a slightly improved version of the Thingamabobbers. Absorbs 2% MP of damage dealt. So this is a Vanishing Cloak, gives 50 preempt. Nothing too interesting. Let us look. Let's see. So we found the majority of the sapphire stuff now. Let's take a look around. And we can see what we have to be killed. Alright, so we need to go where? So these two islands aren't too interesting. They don't have anything that I require an airship to get through. And I haven't gone into this place. So, I guess let's give this a try. And this is the place that had the enemies from the very beginning of the game in it as well. It's like, It requires an airship to get to. It has enemies from the very beginning. Odd combination. So what is up here? Oh. So it's a red chocobo. So that can presumably climb mountains, I guess? So, where does that leave us? I'm not sure where I want to go from here. I guess we can head down to Valundra, see if... Where's the... This isn't Valundra anymore. Aha! This water's gone, so I can actually go here now. Okay, so this is the same creatures from outside. Sounds legit. Okay, so do I have a repel ring on? I do not. Ooh, Kamanaten is about to hit 150. So why is this such a weak area? I need to get some regen on Kumada 10. Dragons with feet like rabbits are very common. They're the best kind of dragon. So, I'm actually going to take a look at my collections. I want to see how big this place is. We're on Holdra. So Mount Vilu is like a small aside, it looks like. The question is whether it's a small aside that has a puzzle in it. I wonder how many AP I have saved up at this point from all these AP orbs. The rock walls are not as solid as they appear. Did I already go here? I don't think I did. Yes, I did. Warden Ring. So what's up here? Here lies Maximilian, the greatest mountaineer Firm has ever seen. By his wishes, he lies here at the peak of Mount Vilu. May his spirit... Okay, so we took the climbing gear. You know, I had a suspicion. As soon as I saw that grave, I'm like, oh, this is where you get the climbing gear to do the Phoenix area easier. But who needs climbing gear when you could just do the puzzles? I don't think this area should have been blocked off by the water earlier. Because it's the same enemies that you fight outside, so it's not any stronger, and the item isn't something that you can use early, you just... So, I think that they shouldn't have blocked off this dungeon. You should be able to just come here whenever you want. So let's take a look at my collection. So I've gotten about half the items here. So I'm going to warp out, because I think that some of them are probably toward the beginning. And easy to get. Maybe not. So there's those three right there. And I'm willing to get stuff that's easy to get. And I think I'm actually going to start going after the hunts again. Because... Oh, this is a different place than I thought it was. I already went to the left side. Okay, I think this place had a massive number of different locations that I could go to, so this should probably be it. So that's 3 out of, I think, 9 that I needed. So there's another 3 probably right here. Yep. So how many do I need in my collection now? We need 3 more from here. 2 more at the north outpost, and 1 in an unknown location. And then I'll have finished this map entirely. At that point, I'll know that I'm pretty much done with this continent. Okay, so come on, defense leveled up again. So that one's done. That's the place that I came from. So we just need to find one more place that has a trio, maybe? There's a climbing thing here, is there? Yeah, those green chests are only available if you're an engineer. So they won't show up on the list for this place, they'll show up on the class-specific list. This is just backtracking. We've checked all these, so we're gonna go back over toward that riddle from before. It's the wrong one. Ba-da-dum. Okay, I already checked this one. So where am I supposed to go? Oh, okay, so that's funny. I'm an idiot. I thought I had already... checked all of these walls, but I obviously had not. So what happens when I push this switch? So this actually might be a puzzle. Ah, here we go. Okay. Bum bum ba bum 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 There we go. So this was a puzzle, I think. So we're done here. I'm going to actually take a look and see. So I've now done 17 out of 20 puzzles. So we have another one to do with the sacred tree. And we have 2 more in dungeons that I haven't encountered yet. Alright, I'm gonna look for... Where is this thing? I don't remember what you do. I believe what you do is probably make me fall over dead. Use plan of attack. He's paralyzed, so that seems like a great way to open up the fight. Let's use plan of attack anyway. So he's using Snarl. He's now got 10% extra damage. Or 10% extra attack. In addition to guaranteed crits. So 750 cuts comes out. I still don't have immunity to bleed on, like, just about anyone. I can do it on 2 targets, but I can't do it on any more than that. Which is honestly kind of surprising when you consider how far I am now. Let's see. I'm gonna go for one of these other guys. Oh, right. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna go around Valindra and try and figure out where I'm missing a place. So we have the North Valindra outpost, which I'm missing 2 items in, but I'm also missing some place that's just like either a chocobo forest or a dock. And there it is, there's the dock. So I'm missing this dock down here. Where's the fastest way to get to here? So, into the dock we go. And now we're going to be able to actually complete this achievement, because we'll have all of the items over here. I'm actually wondering how dangerous the AoE bleed is. If I give Komanaten immunity to bleed, Varan already has a shit ton of regen to counteract it, and so does Sordrel. So I might actually be able to fight that thing just by doing Vermin Drifter. Huldra Cartographer. So we've now gotten all of the treasure chests on this continent. Let's go to... Okay, so mana doesn't really matter. I'm going to... Do I need to loosen him? Yes. So we're going to heal up. I'm going to equip him with the Clotting Ring. Oh shit, he's level 150 now. So he can now learn Team Player. This is amazingly good. Plus 10% to all those stats for all allies except user for the entire battle. So that means that on turn 1, I can actually do Team Player and that. Okay, I'm going to get an attempt in here. And let's see here. So I am an idiot and I didn't get Team Player on my bar. I'm going to put Team Player on my bar before I... Because with Team Player, he's looking at an extra 1300 HP, which isn't a big deal. But then everybody else is going to be getting a massive boost to their stats for the battle. And I say massive, it's 10%, but a 10% boost to all stats for the entire battle is pretty fucking amazing. Let's see. He does not need Mana Surge anymore. Okay, so going for the attack, we're going for Team Player. And plan of attack. And we got the hamstring off. Plan of attack comes out. Team Player comes out. Wait, what? No. Oh my god, it also increases crit. Oh yes. So, Team Player increases HP for everybody in the party. So the description for it is wrong. It says that it only... Okay, no, I'm actually wrong. So the way that this is written is extremely strange, because the max HP plus 50% healed implies that that's what it's doing to the user, but it's not. And I don't know why I thought that. So what this does is gives everybody in the party extra HP and stats, except for Komanatin himself. So we can now use self-preservation. And I could presumably recast that as an actual heal if I want. So we're going to use a taunt. We've already gotten hamstring off. We're going to use behind enemy lines. So that's at 4,000. I'm going to use Mystic Concealment on him. Use an Iron Skin. Invisibility Cloak. And he's actually going to use Mirage. He should have done it earlier, but he's doing it now. And we're going to use... Citadel. Use Warcry. Co-drops. Now, he has AoE physical attacks, so I want to make sure... God damn, he has really high attack power. I'm going to recast Team Player. Okay, Vicious Slice misses. Team Player comes out. And this actually heals the entire party, including himself. When he uses Team Player, he actually does heal himself. So that is actually ridiculously good. He now has a percent-based heal. Do I have Joke? I do not. What's the cooldown on that? So it has a 2-turn cooldown. Not too big a deal. And yeah, Komanatin's a god now. Honestly, that's a really big deal. So he's going to use a Holy Heal, and we're going to use what? I refuse. I will always be OP. So let's see. How are we doing? Recasting Sentinel. So 750 cuts comes out. Unfortunately, it did land on Sordrel, so... He's team player. He's just gonna guard. Okay. And let's see, we're gonna jug. Did I cast Meat Shield? I don't think so. Snarl is coming out again. Use a fast Huron. Done. Nailed it. Now the 10% increase to crit chance is also cool because it, oh my god. Come on, it's in your stats. Why are you so high? Let's see. What am I going to do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill a little scorpion over here. Is it a scorpion? I think it's a scorpion. So we've got another heavy physical attacker over here. I don't think this one caused bleed. I think it caused other negative status effects. So we're going to give Oberon, instead of the Repel Ring, the Ancient Ring. And we're going to go for it. So we can cast Team Player and Plan of Attack off the bat. We can use a Hamstring and miss, because we're cool like that. Team Player comes out. See, heals Oberon, because of course it does. And let's see here. Plan of Attack's already out. He's going to use a Self-Preservation. He's going to use a Taunt. He's going to try to Hamstring and succeed. So we got a successful everything. And he's reducing instant attack power with his attacks, so that's good to know. Later, God Mode. What are we gonna do now, I guess? Mystic Concealment. I didn't cast that, right? So, Meat Shield's coming out. Behind enemy lines is coming out. So 500 Stings comes out and hits hard. Let me go ahead and cast Team Player. We're going to use a Ground Slam. Use the Builded Cloak. The hope is that he doesn't do the same thing again and kill Kumanaton, but no guarantees. 500 Stings comes out. Kills Kumanaton. Life is sad. Okay, so he hits pretty hard, but now that we have the ability to use Team Player every few rounds, we should be pretty much set. I don't think that this guy will give me too many problems. I think everybody's pretty much immune to his attacks. Or not his attacks, his status effects. So I don't think that we need to swap any of this stuff. Okay, so Team Player comes out turn 1, Plan of Attack turn 1, and this is using physical attacks, so I'm just going to use behind enemy lines. We'll use Hamstring next round. 500 Sinks comes out, hits pretty hard, but the whole party gets healed up anyway. So he's now going to cast Self-Preservation. He needs to have the HP to survive 2 hits. He is going to use a Human Shield. He's going to use a Hamstring. Hamstring goes out. Infectious... Oh my god. This thing is way stronger than I thought it was. That hit for 7,800. Do I have any way of reducing its attack power by more than... Because I think that was after Self-Preservation had already come out. That's a lot of buffs to have active and still take 7,000 some damage. But I could just equip a Guardian Ring. Okay, so he can now survive that if he gets hit by it. Okay, so... I could use Knuckle Breaker on him, but I don't think I want to. So we're going to cast Team Player off the bat. We're going to take Plan of Attack off the bat. And behind enemy lines. Okay. So... I'm now going to use the Human Shield. We're going to use a Hamstring. Hamstring works. Mystic Concealment is out. We want to make sure that this battle goes quickly. Cast Self-Preservation, Ground Slam, and Invis Cloak. Infectious Puncture comes out and misses Komanaton. Cast Team Player again. Use a Warcry. Shitness Armor comes out. Oh no. Well, Team Player's out, so we're fine. Okay, so the battle's going to last a little longer than I would hope. Cast a Juggernaut. Can use a Meat Shield. So he's now got 16,000 max HP. And let's see here. We have one more turn before we can use that again. We're going to use a Fast Cure on him. He needs to use a Human Shield. Though I don't know that that's actually necessarily the case. This boss has so many AoEs. That I don't know how valuable Human Shield even is. Because it's basically just AoEing every turn. So... we can definitely take it out. The question is whether we can take it out before bad stuff starts happening to us. I think that the Master Ring is actually a good bargain for him, because he's going to get his HP boosted during the battle, by a percentage, and I think the Master Ring increases his HP without giving him a buff for it. It's not a buff, it's a thinger. So it should stack with the buff effectively, if I'm thinking about it correctly. So we need to cast Team Player, we need to cast Plan of Attack, and Behind Enemy Lines. And I think I should be able to get through this. It's just going to require that I have some good things happen. So we're now going to use Self-Preservation to get his HP up. Going to use a Ground Slam to lower this thing's attack power. So I have one more turn before I can use Team Player. And yeah, I'm not even sure that I want to bother taunting. It's probably worth it to use a Meat Shield to increase the probability of him getting hit. And I guess it's worth taunting just because he doesn't have a lot of better stuff to do with his turns. But the lack of a... Like, I've gone through the whole game now without finding something to reduce physical attack power. I say the whole game. I'm not done with the game, but I'm getting there. Let's see. I'm going to pop back to Theopolis because this thing... I can probably beat it if I get lucky with its attacks, but that's exactly what it's going to have to be, is that I'm going to have to be lucky. I don't really have enough survivability to take it out right now with any degree of legitimacy, because most of his attacks are AoE, and it does more AoE damage than I'm healing for. So Virgil's Dagger and Virgil's Axe. Where's Virgil's Axe do? Oh, he can't equip it. Yeah, those are bad. So here's a question, actually. If he uses this weapon... If he uses Silencing Strike with this, is this going to inflict Poison, Blind, and Silence on everybody? Because that would be pretty badass. So, what do I want to do here? I've already pumped their magic defense by quite a lot. It's going to cost a relatively massive amount now to increase. Considering the number of percentage multipliers that I have on my HP now, I think that investing in HP is probably worthwhile again. Let's see. As for him, do I want to keep... So he now has 9,000 max HP. And I'll stop pumping attack when it reaches 1,000. Whether it's from gear or from whatever. So, let's see. There's a thing here. I'm gonna go... Oh. So this is just inverse, I guess. Ooh, winged. So I'm gonna go with winged. right, I was switching. I just didn't realize it. So, for Komanaten... Ooh, that's cool looking. Oh my god, I love that so much. Okay, I have to keep this one. It's just too funny. He's got one eye and he's got an eye patch over it. Let's see. As for him, this is Oberon. I think for him I just like this. For Veron, what does light look like? Just white. I'm actually gonna have Veron have the glitch costume because it might be amusing. Nah, it's too weird looking. Alright. Okay, well, we're ready to head out of here. Well, I guess we're not. We need to check for items. Okay. No items. So the question now becomes, what else is there to do? And I think that's a question that I will be answering. Oh my god, it's even in this picture. That's so great. Okay. Oh man. Alright, so I think that's actually going to be it for today. Oh no, I gotta go to this place first. We'll explore this, because I haven't been here. Oh. That's not. Okay. Find Dr. Abe and give him some aloe. Okay, so do I want to do that? This is a really fast side quest. I'm gonna just pop over there and do it. Okay, so the doctor should be somewhere. Actually, I know what I'm looking for. Wow, that's so expensive. How about 10,000 for some aloe? That seems like an appropriate price for something that literally grows on trees. Okay, I'm actually curious. So before we end the stream here, I am going to look at my item list. I have 97 resurrection elixirs. Quite a few. So we have all these SP orbs. Those aren't really relevant, but I'm kind of curious. This gives 100, so this is 500 ability points right here. There's almost 1,500 here. So far we're looking at around 2,000 AP sitting on reserve. We've got about 1,000 here. We've got 200 here. So we're looking at probably around 4,000 APs worth of AP orbs sitting in our inventory that we can use at some point to turn one of our characters into an absolute god if we want. I could use that on Sordrel to pop up his magic defense if I ever start fighting enemies that actually use magic damage. They might have actually changed the magic damage formula in this game to be more similar to the physical damage formula, and that would kind of explain. But I don't think so, because I'm looking at the spell descriptions. It looks like they're still using the same formula. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure stream for you today, and I hope to see you all again next time.